Coach, turning attention to another Hockey East weekend. Just want to get your thoughts heading into this upcoming one game matchup against number two Boston College.
Yeah, well, we're certainly going to be tested Friday night. We're going to find out what we have for a team, especially coming off our last weekend's disappointing weekend. And now we're playing BC, who is, I'm not sure they have a weakness on their team. They're excellent in goal. They've got a lot of returning defensemen. They're dynamic up front. The special teams are very good. So, and they're well coached. So we're going to have a great test in front of us on Friday night.
Awesome. All right, we'll open up for questions. Who wants to start us off? Go ahead, Randy.
All right. Good morning, Cav. How you doing today?
I'm great, Randy. You?
I'm all right, thank you.
Good.
So what style of play do you like? What are you looking for this week from your team to negate all, like you said, they have no weaknesses. What do you have to do to gain some success this weekend?
I think of regardless who we play, we have to make better decisions with the puck at times. I feel like a lot of the other team's offense is coming off of us mismanaging the puck. And sometimes, this past weekend, there were a couple unlucky breaks where pucks bounced over sticks, but we're also giving up chances because of a breakdown in structure. And that's an area where we have to clean up.
You mentioned the turnovers and managing the puck. Is it a case where you have a young team and maybe they're fighting it a little bit? One bad play kind of sticks in someone's mind and you maybe leads to indecision the next time they get the puck?
Sometimes maybe. I think, this past weekend I don't know if the numbers are exact, but I think we had the puck on Friday night in the offensive zone for 14 minutes. On Saturday, we had it for 15 minutes. And I think Merrimack had it for like 6 minutes in our zone, both nights. And sometimes when you have that much offensive zone time, you get aggressive with especially when you're not scoring, your defensemen get aggressive and they jump into the play a little bit more. And we've had some success doing that, interchanging forwards and defensemen. But when the puck, you still have to have defensive integrity when you're in the other team's offensive, when you're in your offensive zone. And I think at times we lack that and we get out of position and now we're giving up an odd man rush.
And you mentioned that BC has no weaknesses, but one thing that popped in your favor of late is the power play. I think you've scored on the power play 3 straight games. They're perfect on the penalty kill. What do you have to do on the power play against their PK to keep sustaining the ozone time that you've displayed lately?
I think we just have to keep doing what we're doing on the power play. I really like where it's gone the past, as you mentioned, the past 3 games. I think, there was maybe of the 11 games we've played, maybe there were 2 games where I didn't think we were proficient on the power play. The other ones I thought were pretty good. We just didn't score. And now we're starting to see some results from moving the puck quickly and getting it to the net.
Finally, Sitar picked up his first point. Larkin had his first goal. There seemed to be some spark from that line. I don't know what happens this weekend, but as far as Sitar, he's got his feet under him a little bit. Are you looking for maybe him to take that next step this weekend?
I think so. I thought that was a good step for him. I thought that he probably played his best game he's played on Saturday here, and not because of the assist. I thought he was pretty good in all 3 zones and was really good on faceoffs, which is an area that is a strength for him. So we need him to continue to excel in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'll jump in because my raising the hand isn't working. How is Cade?
He's fine. He's practiced the past 2 days, so he's fine.
He's good to go. When you went back, Cav, and looked at Friday and Saturday, did you see anything maybe that you didn't see from the bench that was good or not so good?
You know, I guess I'd like to get a little more into the blue paint. On Saturday, Joe, I guess my biggest concern was I didn't like our energy really in the first two periods. I thought we didn't play bad. We just didn't have that energy that we've been playing with all year long. So that was a bit of a concern, and we've addressed that this week. Again, you know, I thought we played a pretty good road game on Friday. You know, we didn't score, and we had a couple turnovers, as I said, end up in the back of our net, and that was the difference.
BC, we talk a lot because of the kids up front about their offense and maybe not enough about their defense. Fowler's turned into one of the best goalies in the league, and their D, I don't know, to me, Cap seems kind of underrated. Can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, no, I think their D are very good. I would agree with you. You know, they've added a couple freshmen to that group, but they have a pretty experienced group with Powell and Reschuk, you know, Gustafson. They've got some experienced defensemen back there who've played a lot of college hockey, and I would agree with you. I think they're underrated as well.
Are you at the stage now where you think Toscano, even though what happens Saturday, Toscano's become a pretty good home ice advantage for you?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think, especially, you know, when we get the crowd into it early, I think it's a great home ice advantage for us.
And what did you see from Jake Percival this past weekend? I mean, we had talked last week. He seemed to be scuffling a little bit. Did you see better from him?
Yeah, I thought he played pretty well. I thought he was back to playing his brand of hockey. So, you know, you're going to have ups and downs throughout a season. And I'm not too concerned about Jake because as long as he's skating and competing, he's a valuable component for our club.
Thanks.
Dan, we'll jump over to you.
Thanks. So we got the CHL ruling last week.
Yeah.
To play college hockey. Just what was your initial reaction to the news?
So my initial reaction is if we all work together, I think it could be beneficial for hockey in general. You know, if the CHL still tries to compete and keep kids longer than they should in junior hockey, then it's going to be a sticky situation. And hopefully that the NHL will jump in and rectify it because they can. They're really the only ones who can step in and say, let's make sure everybody plays nice in the sandbox, you know. But if they don't want to and the NHL stays out of it, which I hope they don't, because it could be really good for all of hockey, and especially for the NHL, if we just have, you know, the pyramid is partly there's junior hockey and then there's college and then there's the NHL. And some kids may skip that college step. You know, the Connor Bedard might and the Sidney Crosby might, but the majority of hockey players cannot skip that step. And if the NHL advocates for that type of development system, then I think it's going to be great for everybody because the CHL is going to get some American players that they normally wouldn't have got who wanted to go to college, and even Canadian players like Macklin Celebrini. They're going to go to play junior hockey in Canada or wherever before they go to college. But the problem is if they go to play Canadian hockey and they don't let them go to school and they don't let them get a diploma, you know, those types of things, that's where we're going to have issues.
For your own program, just what discussions have you had about how this could impact you guys?
Yeah, we're looking at some players that could certainly help us. It's interesting, Dan, because there's a lot of things, moving parts right now. We're still trying to figure out where the roster limits are going. You know, I don't think it's safe for college hockey to have 26 roster spots. I mean, you look at our team right now, we have 3 players out. So that means we'd be practicing with 23 players and only 2 goaltenders. if we were stuck and it was a hard 26, that number, I don't know what you do if you had two goaltenders out, which we did at one point this season. Is that 26, like I said, a hard, fast 26, or can you have replacement players? I don't know. Like, these are the things we need to get answered. And it's a little frustrating because you're trying to build your team for next year, but you don't know what the rules are yet. So we're all kind of, in limbo right now.
It might be early, but how much are you going to look at the CHL compared to the BCHL, where you've had a lot of success, and the USHL, which is just obviously a well-known college feeder?
Well, we're going to continue to look at the USHL. I think you bring up a great point. There's a lot of CHL players who I think are going to be eligible that are better than players in the BCHL. It's a better league, so you're going to get better players. So that's something we're going to have to take a look at for sure.
Then yesterday, AIC announced that it's dropping its program, and just former conference mate, even though you were only here a short time in Atlantic hockey, but team you've played plenty since you got here. Just your reaction, your reaction to that news.
I'm not surprised. I guess I was surprised yesterday when I saw it. I'm not surprised in general. I think you're going to see more teams doing that, because as we get into this NIL and revenue sharing, and if they go to 26 scholarships, there's not many. There's going to be a lot of teams that realistically can't compete with that. And I've said that the strange thing is there's more structure in pro sports than there are in college sports right now, because you have salary caps and you have contracts where people can't just jump from one team to another. There's entry level contracts where you can't make 10 million coming into the league, or, there's structure in pro sports. Right now, there's not any structure in college athletics. So it doesn't surprise me. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that say we can't compete for a national championship. What are we doing? Why are we bleeding money? Let's just go Division II where we can compete.
Is there a great disparity from what you know in the league from teams as far as NIL is concerned?
I don't know the specific numbers in our league, Joe. I would say there's great disparity between the Big Ten, and the rest of us. So as far as money goes, I would say that there's definitely disparity there. I mean, the Big Ten's the only Power Four conference in college hockey.
So, right.
So they have SEC, Big 12, and, I guess BC's an ACC school. But, I don't even think that their NIL collective is at the level of the Big Ten.
Right.
Is it possible we see, bigger name schools coming to Division I hockey? People love to always speculate about what school would make for a good hockey school. Do you see any shift in the other direction for big brand schools?
I don't know. It's an interesting question. I mean, it would have happened already, wouldn't it have? I know like Illinois talked about it. I've always heard Washington and Oregon and Washington State. I mean, they're in prime. Like, there's a lot of good hockey players within 3 hours of those schools, but do they really want to add that expense? Because it's not just adding men's hockey, it's adding women's hockey too, to stay compliant with Title IX. It's a big expense. You got to build an arena, you got scholarships, why are they going to want to take off their bottom line to add hockey? Because I don't know how many hockey programs actually make money. We don't really have a television deal, and the television deal is what makes you money. I read something where, and I don't know if this is true, you'd have to fact check it, but I don't know if Rutgers makes money and they're a Big Ten school. You know, I mean, for what they have to spend. So if you're Washington and Oregon, and let's say you're making $20 million a year as an athletic department, why would you want to cut into that adding hockey? Like, that's probably two sports that are going to cost you money. So that's just the business side of it.
Yeah.
I think it would be great, because it would be awesome if Oregon, Washington State, Oregon State, you know, had hockey. That'd be great.
We got anything else for Coach, guys?